What's going on YouTube? This is Falcon 2081 and this is the Magewell update video part 2. More of a in-depth analysis and results of a problem that was brought to my attention. For those of you that are watching this video for the first time, this is the Magewell 4K HDMI capture card. It's the capture card that I used to stream on Twitch at, I play in 1440p and the capture card streams at 720p. But if you want to find out more info about this card, then on the top left hand corner of this video will be the link to part 1 of the first video that I made, where I talked about setting up the card and my review of it. So let's get to it real quick. Like I said, I want to say a member, but someone bought the 4K capture card and they messaged me on Twitter saying they were having some trouble with severe screen tearing using this card. So we got on Skype, we talked, and we did some tests, and these are the results. And I'd like to go ahead and thank Case in Point for confirming this for me and all that stuff, and helping me out test, because honestly there's just really isn't a lot of information about these capture cards. So this video can serve as a record for anybody that wants to consider getting this capture card later on, and all that good stuff. So it hopefully helps you out, helps anybody out. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll be glad to help you out. So let's go ahead and talk about what's the problem. Apparently this capture card does not work very well when you clone. When you use the cloning feature that Windows provides. If you guys don't know what cloning is, it just basically takes, you make two monitors act as one, and it'll display the same image on both monitors. So as you can see here, I've cloned both my gaming monitor and my capture card, and they are both outputting at 96 hertz. So this capture card does not like, like I said, does not like being used in clone mode. It does produce a lot of screen tearing. Not very pronounced screen tearing when you're gaming. You can induce it when you're playing first-person shooters. It's not very pronounced either when I was playing racing games, when I was testing that out. So if you don't mind a little bit of screen tearing that's not very noticeable to the viewer, then you can go ahead and stop watching here. But if you guys want to just find out the results too, that's all good and fun too, and the solution basically as well that I found, the only solution so far. But let's go here real quick. A good way to make it so that the capture card doesn't have any screen tearing is you can go here in the nifty little NVIDIA control panel. AMD might have the same thing, and you can choose the cloning source. What that basically means is that right now my clone source, which is my primary source, is my gaming monitor, and then the capture card is more like the secondary. So if you want to stop the screen tearing, then you want to make your capture card the primary source. But the issue with that is that now your PC gaming monitor is showing all the screen tearing, which is not going to work. Nobody's going to do that. And then another thing too also is that if you clone with the capture card being the primary source, then you're going to be locked out, or I'm locked out of not being able to change my refresh rate higher than 60 hertz. So let's go to my streaming PC here real quick, and let me show you another issue that I've found when using the HDMI out on my GTX 980. So as you can see here, it's showing 1646 lines, FPS being 59.98, progressive mode is HDMI. So mode is correct, resolution here is correct. Well, for the most part, it'll choose 2560 by 1600 because it's the recommended resolution, and then I just crop it here, and there's no issues with that. But if you noticed a couple seconds ago, I had my refresh rate at 96 hertz. For some weird reason, this capture card does not want to take the input of or identify that my input is at 96 hertz. So that's another weird thing, and it could be very well the issue of why the capture card is screen tearing in cloning mode, but you know, there's no way to tell. So so now let's go back here to my gaming PC, and you know, let me go back here to screen. As you can see here, this is a HDMI monitor that I have. I've also cloned it with the HDMI monitor. It does produce a screen tearing in clone mode, but the really weird thing is that the capture card in the settings, like you saw a couple seconds ago, will, instead of showing 59.98 progressive, is showing 60 hertz, which is correct, but it's showing it interlaced, which is very weird because my monitor is progressive. But you can just turn on the deinterlace option in the capture card and it'll make the issue go away, but you're still getting the screen tearing. So it, you know, obviously that goes out the window as well. So, you know, so let me show you guys a quick clip here from World War Z, showing you guys the screen tearing during a fast motion scene. This is not going to have any audio, so I don't have any issues with YouTube. But let's go ahead and show you guys here a couple seconds. So as you can see, the scene isn't moving very much, so the screen tearing is less pronounced. But now you can see, you know, with the screen test, you can see that it's starting to get more pronounced, and you'll see it here in this scene, these scenes coming up. So again, not very pronounced, but you can still see it here that it kind of goes from towards the bottom of the screen towards the top, and it kind of does that, and then it stays in the middle, and then it goes up and then down. It just does that a couple times. So now we're getting towards the faster scene here, and the screen tearing is going to start ramping up here. So as you can see here, all these people waving their hands, and now the scenes are full-blown fast mode. The zombies are going to come over the wall, and so we'll stop it here in a couple seconds because it's going to get very there you go. So very pronounced screen tearing during this fast motion scene. And you really don't want to show this to your viewers. And honestly, nobody's going to be showing a movie like this on Twitch or anything like that. So I don't think it would be too much of a problem. So let's go ahead and stop that. So let's go ahead and you know, talk about solutions. Another thing also is that I'll have my game clips at the end of this video, because I just want to, you know, talk about the problem and all that stuff as much as I can before showing you guys the game clips where the screen tearing isn't as pronounced. But the only solution that I found so far is to go ahead and split the signal using a splitter. I had a very tough time finding a dual link DVI splitter that took more than a 1080p input. This one is perfect. It takes an input up to 2560 by 1600, which is perfect because I play in 2560 by 1440. So, you know, essentially this will go from here, from your PC to the DVI in. The number one here will go to your monitor, and this will go to the capture card. And then for your capture card, you're going to need to get one of these cables. If I can, it's a you know, DVI dual, not dual, but yeah, DVI dual link, single link, kind of weird, but to HDMI. And what you have to be very careful of is if you get a cable like this on Amazon or anything like that, you have to make sure that the cable is high speed. Some of the cables aren't high speed, and that just means that they cannot take an input more than 1080p. So make sure you order the right cable. Make sure you look at the description. Make sure the cable can take up a 4K resolution, or be able to display a 4K resolution, because you're going to be playing in higher than 1080p. So this is the cable that I got. It was only $4.24, which is very cheap for a cable, and it works. So, and then going back up to here, this is a little bit pricey considering it's it's very hard to find a dual link DVI splitter that does this. Now, another thing is if that your monitor is a DisplayPort. I think they have a DisplayPort version here that you can use. I'm not gonna look into it now, but just post in the comments, and maybe I can find you a link or something like that. But they shouldn't be too hard to find, and they're about the same price. And you would just have to get the adapter for that. And the splitter method does work. I did it with the HDMI on my HDMI monitor. I used a HDMI splitter, and it produced no screen tearing effects, so that's good. But now let's go ahead and let me go back to the stream PC here real quick and show you guys one thing that's a little bit on the downside if you use this splitter. Going back to here again, the status, if you use this splitter, it will the good thing about it is that it will detect the right refresh rate. So when I was using the splitter, I was at 96 hertz. This was actually showing 96 hertz, and it was displaying the image, which is perfect. And the mode changed from HDMI to DVI. So the capture card can differentiate between the two. But the really weird thing was that the resolution was not displaying the correct resolution. It was showing the correct image. So the resolution was showing as 1280 by 1440 DVI, but the image was still 2560 by 1440. It's really not a big deal as long as the image is displaying correctly, which it was, because it was a 1440p image. But just be aware that the resolution will be reported wrong here, and I think that's more of a driver issue more than anything. But as long as the image works, who cares? And then that's pretty much it. But let me go back to my gaming PC, sorry. So when it's all said and done, one of the big cons, I should say, or negative aspects to this is that it really sucks that you aren't able to use cloning mode. But in a way, it's understandable. If I guess it's more of it could be a driver issue, because I know with the AverMedia Live Gamer that I never had that issue with the screen tearing. But then again, the AverMedia was specifically made to be used in cloning, using the clone mode in Windows. So the drivers were made for that. So it could be again a driver thing. But another thing that people may not like and might shy away from this card is that the extra money that you have to spend on top of getting the capture card. So you're looking at $700 for the capture card, plus if you have if you're using the DVI dual link cables for your monitors and stuff like that, like I had to get that splitter was another $150, and then plus probably another $10 or so in assorted cables that you need and all that stuff. So that brings the price to $770. So it could put a lot of people away, but when you think about it, or actually no, sorry, 700 plus $850. So you're almost in the ballpark of almost $900 maybe. But it's still lower than the data path DVI, which is the most expensive one, and that's $1,600, and you have to use a DVI splitter on top of that. So when you think about it, you're spending a lot more money. Another thing that kind of sucks is that if you don't have an extra mic, for example, like, or this is the only thing that if you use voice meter banana to, output everything or mix everything and output it through the HDMI, you're going to lose that ability to have the audio through the HDMI if you use a splitter. And that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm kind of torn with the fact that unfortunately, if I use a splitter, I won't have any screen tearing, but I'll have to use or grab my audio off my speaker output on my gaming PC and then put it into a line in on my stream PC, or use some sort of hardware mixer, because now I can't, unfortunately, output through the HDMI, which is what I really liked about this program. And then the other thing is I would have to use my AT2020 mic on my stream PC so my viewers can hear me while I use my Astro mic on the on TeamSpeak and stuff like that, so the voice quality wouldn't be that great. Well, at least for my for my friends, for my TeamSpeak friends, my stream would be perfectly fine. But that's here nor there, guys. I just wanted to give you guys or show you guys a couple examples. The video is, I'm going to show you guys some clips now of some different games where I induce the screen tearing, and so you guys can see and judge for yourselves if it's, personally I might decide to just have the screen tearing in there, even though if it's barely noticeable. But other than that, guys, make sure you leave me some comments at towards the end of this video, and or if you want to talk to me personally over Twitter or something like that, just let me know. I'm always here to help and all that stuff. So make sure you guys subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry if the video is a little long. I try to make it as short as possible, but I just wanted to get as much information out there for anybody that might come across this capture card and might want to get it and search on YouTube and stuff like that. So other than that, guys, I'll see you guys later, and I'll definitely have some more videos up either tomorrow or the next day. So take care, guys.